I don't want to say could it get worse because I think that's famous.
Do we need more gold things?
Like,
do we?
I was literally thinking the same thing. Get out of my head.
Is there more gold?
I always feel like it's life of the party. I kind of somewhat give it to Gemini too, though. Like I feel like you don't have a party unless the Sag and Geminis are there.
Jupiter's like, girl, you look good.
All of it. All the jewelry in your jewelry box, actually. Yeah, we're just vibing. Like 2 Jupiter-ruled charts. We're here for the vibes.
We're just here to vibe because
I probably would too.
I'm selfish and I'm the one talking. I'm the one with the mic. So
sorry, but I'm not sorry. I know like cringe is the gateway to like self-expression, but like in the realm of AI, I feel like people are craving authenticity. We don't want to see this. We want to see humans doing human shit.
We're here. We're here
again on the full moon.
Yes. Welcome back to Sagittarius Sidequest. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Kloee.
And we are here to talk to you on this beautiful full moon. And what full moon is it?
Capricorn.
My
favorite.
Tea.
Oh, so good. The whole axis, honestly, Capricorn and Cancer, but Capricorn definitely, like, oh gosh. It's my man. My man.
And the other thing that is happening today, if you were watching this on a release day or very soon after, is we have Jupiter doing its annual thing of moving into Leo.
Yes.
So leaving the Cancerian wateriness behind, and we're moving into Leo. So we wanted to talk about that. And we're just going to talk about all things Jupiter. And that's not just because we're Sag risings, and it's like a kind of a really important planet.
It's my Lord and Savior.
My Lord and Savior.
My Lord and Savior,
Jupiter,
my father.
Zeus.
Actually, I don't claim Zeus. Like, I know that that's like traditional lore, but I don't like his ass. I said what I said.
Yeah. Well, he did exemplify the more is more quality of Jupiter. So we're going to be talking a little bit about the Jupiter just in different signs as well. So one of the things that we've been talking about is, since we're both Sag risings, and obviously we're exactly the same person, there's no differences because that is how astrology works, is you get one sign and that's your whole personality. And we used to think it was the sun sign, and now it's the ascendant and your rising sign. So now you know everything you need to know about astrology, and we're done.
Yeah. Bye.
But of course that's not true, right? And there are a lot of other differences in our charts, but the thing I want to talk about today.
Yes, and
is the influence of the chart ruler, where it's placed in your chart, how that changes like the flavor. So,
ooh, I like it. I like the phrasing.
Do the flavor. So Jupiter, anyone with a Sag ascendant is going to have a Jupiter ruled chart. We are not a monolith. We are not all the same. And there's lots of reasons for that. And I would say part of that is because our Jupiter placements are going to be different. And that's going to give a little twist, a little accent to how that Sagittarius is expressed.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we don't have the same Jupiter sign, so we're going to talk about that. I actually feel very underqualified to talk about Jupiter as a Sag rising because my Jupiter is in kind of a sad place in my chart. And so I feel like I'm on the struggle bus. Yeah, so I need my friends with me today. So we have all my friends to support me in this
in your trying time.
My trauma-informed work I'm doing on my Jupiter.
In this trying time, yes.
So, like I said, we have Jupiter going out of the sign of Cancer, RIP to Jupiter in Cancer. But basically, just to kind of back up, so Jupiter is a planet that spends about 13 months in a sign.
Depending on retrogrades and all that.
Yeah. So basically, it's like the same kind of cycle or cadence that we get with like your Chinese zodiac. If you have like every 12 years, you have a different sign.
Oh, yeah, I've never thought about it that way. You're right, though.
It's different dates, but like basically you're going to have these little cohorts, these little kind of like everyone in your grade, right, was that sign or the next one. And so you get that year in each sign. And Jupiter has actually been, Cancer's a great place for Jupiter.
Yes.
So There's definitely been some support for Jupiter in that sign over the past year. Did everything in the world go wonderfully this last year?
No.
No, right?
So Jupiter's exalted in Cancer. Can you tell us a little bit more just about that, like exaltation, just in case there's anybody who doesn't know?
Sure. So there is, I'm going to back it up to say essential dignity. So dignity, it basically means there are certain places in the chart that a planet is happiest. It is best able to do its work. Basically, think of it as being like at home. It has all its shit. It has all its things. It can do things the way it wants to do it. And so it's a little confusing because we also have the house system, but just stick with me. We're talking about signs. So the one that most people are familiar with dignity is just rulership, or what we call domicile. So this is, the planet is at home. And Jupiter is at home in Sagittarius.
Yeah, every sign has a planet that rules over it.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, a lot of the associations we have with that sign come from that planet, usually mixed in with like what the, like expressed through maybe an element or through something like that, right? So Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, it's at home in Sagittarius, and that is a fire sign. So we're expressing more is more, bigger is better. Expansion, growth, we're really leaning into that in a fiery, go out and find the information, be active, spread to foreign lands. So we can kind of see how these associations.
Jupiter also rules Pisces.
Yes.
Depending on the type of astrology you're doing.
Traditionally, and I would say even if you are using Neptune as a ruler of Pisces, we got to give a nod back to some of the associations traditionally with Pisces come from an understanding of these Jupiterian qualities. So whereas Jupiter is like, I mean, I just think of it as like a hot air balloon just going out all like, you know, around the world in 40 days, right? Like this is Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter in Pisces is like, I need to go to the expanse. I need to go and grow and do the most in water. So you're going the deepest, you're going the most into emotions, you're going the most into a spirituality. So even though it's not outward like a fire sign would be, it's still the most, right? Like I would say there's an expansion, and this idea of water not being contained, not having boundaries, being the opposite in the polarity with.
I know one person in my family that for sure has a Jupiter in Pisces, and they are like the one person that still is like devout Mormon and like really drinks that Kool-Aid.
Interesting.
And I'm just like, wow, that kind of actually like clicks. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
I've never thought about it that way.
Since we were talking about Pisces being like the opium den, when we all, you know, the major planets come out of the opium den. Like it is, right? It's the deep spirituality, but you also get all of the things.
All of the things.
And so Jupiter wants all the things. And so Jupiter is going to be your chart ruler if you are a Pisces or a Sagittarius rising, like we are. And so there are some things that are just normally associated with Jupiter that if I was just doing like a really quick read on this, I might say Jupiter ruling your chart means you're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah,
like that would be like a
pretty...
Jupiter. That you might have like a really big personality. You might have some features that are really big that like people are noticing you a lot.
I hear a lot for Sag rising that it's about the teeth. Like you either have like something very prominent about teeth, and I feel like for me that fits. Like my main profile photo across all my stuff, I have like a large I have a very toothy smile. And I feel like I can confirm that with like others.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah. So just in general, right? We're talking about like these big features, big personality, and again, luck. We, you know, kind of the easy association with Jupiter's luck. Like I said, I have a complicated relationship with my Jupiter, so I don't really feel that so much. I mean, it might be true from the outside. People might look at me and say there's some things I've been very fortunate about, but I don't feel particularly lucky. Coming back to exaltation is basically if the sign that the planet rules is their domicile, is their home, exaltation is like your favorite third place. So like the the coffee shop in Friends, or if we're going to go way back, like the show Cheers, for people who remember that. So I'm kind of like pulling back a little bit, but if you're around in the 80s or the 90s, or you watched like Nick at Night or wherever that was, whenever Norm came into the bar and the whole bar went, Norm, it's the place where you go and everyone goes, Norm. Okay, so it's your best friend's house.
That's such a good way to put that.
We're like, thank you. I need to have like a Gen Z version of this, because I don't know what it is.
I love what you've done so far with the place.
And I have no idea. So let me know, clue me in, what's the version of that for the younger folk out there. But it's like your best friend's house, where like you come over and they have your favorite coffee creamer, or like, you actually have like that one sweatshirt you always steal when you come over, or something like that. So it's a place where you are very well situated. You are treated as an honored guest. And by you, I mean the planet. So when Jupiter is in Cancer, this is like a special place where, it's literally exalted, meaning like to like be lifted up. So it's not at home, but it's like shows up and they're throwing a parade. So Jupiter is basically like really well resourced, and is also going to be looking to the moon to support it. So if you're looking in your natal chart, if there is a favorable relationship between your moon and your Jupiter, that's even going to enhance that. If your moon is in Cancer or in another place where it's really comfortable, that's going to support it as well.
I didn't know that.
It kind of goes down like a whole rabbit hole of like who's on first about basically supporting each other. But basically there's places that the planets like to be because they have their shit and support, and there's places that they don't like to be, where they can feel like they're wandering or lost or debilitated in some kind of way. So that is going to factor into my takes on Jupiter and the signs. And then a lot of the rest of this, not gonna lie, gonna be vibes.
Yeah, we're just vibing. Like 2 Jupiter ruled charts, we're here for the vibes.
We're just here to vibe. In fact, I brought something for the vibes. Can you hold this really quick?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah!
You had to put them in the back. We have to have them.
Okay, we'll have them up here.
Yes. Fabulous.
So I might be bringing those out if I remember. I probably totally forgot about them for the rest of my life. But these they're pom-poms, because I do feel like Jupiter in general is kind of a cheerleader and a supporter, right? So that's why we associate it with bringing luck and being generous, but just basically like Jupiter's just saying yes. Like it just cosigns. We'll cosign. It says yes. It says yes.
Yes,
it says
queen.
Jupiter in Cancer. So just because it's in a good place and it is a planet of luck and, generosity, doesn't necessarily mean everything in the world is great.
No, certainly not. Please.
Hopefully something that it has shown up for you if you have planets in Cancer, or especially if you have a Jupiter in Cancer, because that is your Jupiter return.
Yes.
We usually don't talk about that, but all the planets have returns. So if you have Jupiter in Cancer, this has been your return. Let us know how that's been going for you. It's also going to be bringing up for you in your chart in particular themes around the house that you have Cancer in. So for my purposes, I'm going to be using a lot of Sagittarius examples today, because
I probably would too.
I'm selfish and I'm the one talking. I'm the one with the mic. So
sorry, but I'm not sorry.
So you have, Cancer themes, which could be, about the home, mother, like all the kind of Cancer things, but it also could just be around water. So like more water. Okay. And so if you think about a lot of the things that have been in the news this last year.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we've had a lot of things happening on water, things getting stuck on the water because, the hantavirus situation, people are literally just have this contagion.
Being open and closed, controlling the water system there.
Absolutely. So, really, people doing the most, talking the most. It's been, a major, major theme for the year. And that, in and of itself, just the Jupiter presence in Cancer isn't necessarily going to bring that about, but I think it's helpful as we talk through these that there's the sign itself, but then there's just the element that it's in. Yeah. So you might see themes around those topics coming up. And if you, for instance, have a Sagittarius rising chart, you're going to have Cancer in the 8th house, which also means you're going to have Jupiter themes happening there. And what are some of the themes of the 8th house, Kloee?
Death, transformation, dirty, sexy money. You know, it's dirty, it's Scorpio's house. It's dirty, sexy money.
And so, like,
affectionate.
So, like, let's just spitball here. Like, what are some of the themes that we would say if you just had more eighth house? If you just had an emphasis on eighth house and more things. So, like, one of them would be, like, inheritance or things about money, right? So, like, a lot of times we think about that tied in because it's the assets of the other. And so we'll think about that related to death because that's how you get the inheritance. But I think it can have a lot to do with, like, exchanges around, like, debt or, like, loans.
For sure.
There's a lot of activity on that second eighth house axis. Hopefully the money was coming to you.
I mean, through my partner's job, many jobs. Like, my partner worked like 2 jobs at one point this year for quite some time during this transit.
Yeah.
Works 2 jobs. And so, like, I would be receiving through, like,
through that.
And the car that we got, that's like all in his name too. So like, there's like an asset there. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think about how for me it's been showing up, and I feel like it's been more about others and how it like
comes to you through other people. Absolutely. Yeah. So getting support from other people. I've seen it with a few people, and so I'm just thinking this through if I'm going to call this out as related. I'm going to, but maybe I'll change my mind later. But like debts, like paying debts, but like getting debts cleared off the table, like making like large payments or like...
Oh, that's definitely been a theme for me.
I mean, it's been a theme for me this last year since Jupiter was in Cancer. So I'm just, maybe it's horoscopium, maybe I'm just making it up, but it seems to me that even though it's usually coming to you from the 8th house, I don't think it necessarily always has to be. Like, it could be like when you get 8th house activated, it could be like having a really big tax bill. So... but if you pay off a lot of money, but then that like cleans the slate and it clears things up and now you don't have to carry that debt around or like reducing that debt load, to me, that would be like a positive fortune.
For sure.
Right? Like getting that off the table. Maybe not, I mean, I guess you could also be like acquiring, running up your debt, gambling,
your debt, expanding it.
Just like big exchanges of money would be a theme that I would think might come up in a Jupiter 8th house. And just to check my dates here, and all of this is going to be in Pacific Coast time, because sometimes it changes the date by like a day. So this was basically from June 9th of 2025. And then we
Are you kidding? That's when it started?
Mm-hmm.
It's like right around that time that like our car was repossessed, and then we got another car like several months later. But like, I don't know. An asset claimed back, and then a new asset gained. Like,
interesting.
And it did wipe some things out. That like it was actually a net positive, believe it or not, for us in a way, because like we really couldn't afford the car. Like, and I've talked about this in other places online, but yeah, we really couldn't afford to have it anymore anyways. So it actually was benefic, even if it was a really difficult time at the time.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you're definitely, like, as we've talked about this and you've talked about it, you're one of the charts, but you're not the only chart I'm thinking of where I feel like things like that have happened. Yeah. But I mean, I'm just like, it's part of this story that I've been seeing this year where I'm like, oh, well, how could that be a boon or a benefit? It's like, yeah, just like, it's a relief. Like, it's a liability that's gone. I'm balancing the books. That is sure. My net worth just went up, you know, that's a weird way for net worth to go up, but it did. Jupiter was just basically sailing through Cancer. So from June 9th all the way up until November 11th, it made it all the way to 25 degrees of Cancer. Flipped a bitch, went retrograde.
Said, back it up, beep.
And it was retrograde until March 10th, but it actually... from when you're watching this at the end of June or anytime after we've posted it, only left the shadow of that retrograde on June 6th of 2026.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not realize.
Mm-hmm. So it just like went right through Cancer, hit 25, booted all the way back.
That's actually crazy.
It went all the way back to 15 degrees.
That's insane. Then, like, even when it comes to, like, because I think about Cancer as, like, the home as well. Like, just from to me, this is all, it's adding up, okay? I feel like I've definitely struggled with like rental issues as well. Not with my property, but like paying rent. And it's just been like a back and forth. Every time I start to get ahead, it's like I get pushed back a month again. And then I'm making 2 payments at once again. And by the 5th of this next month, it should all be finished. And like we're on the literally the last day of this retrograde, if it goes, or the shadow period. Last day of the shadow period, it's direct the next day, or it's always been direct. I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, but it's like it's actually progressing. It's making progress.
I'm gonna be out of that. Stop. That's stupid.
So, again, Jupiter is doing Jupiter in a big way in exaltation. And we're always like having to look at like that house, or like what are the themes, what are other things that are happening in your chart, and then of course, what is that activating in that transit? I mean, I'm going to be sad to see Jupiter move out of Cancer in some ways.
Yeah, me too. Even though it's been weird for me, I'm not mad.
In theory, it's good, but I think it's also just been it's still been very challenging for a lot of people in this position. What we're doing on now is we are moving into, I was going to say the age, but it's a year. The year of Leo. It's a Jupiter Leo year, June 29th in Pacific time. It's going to be very early in the morning on the 30th for the rest of the United States. And then that will be direct until December 12th, where again, it's just racing through Leo. It's going to get to 27 degrees Leo. And then it will turn around and be in a retrograde until April 12th of next year, finally leaving the shadow of that retrograde in July of 2027. The question is then, what is Leo about? And then secondarily, where is Leo in your chart? What kinds of themes, what kinds of things are going to be getting highlighted? So you're kind of making like faces over here, and I know why.
Gee, I don't know.
What do you know? What do you know about Jupiter and Leo?
What do I know about Jupiter and Leo as the person in the room with a Jupiter in Leo?
Hold up. Yay!
Yay! The person that's about to go through a Jupiter return, and I have an early degree Jupiter, so it'll be sooner than later. I feel like, I mean, I also have in my chart Saturn opposite my Jupiter by degree, like exactly, it's in opposition. And so I do feel like sometimes I get a little like yanked down from being like all like just, I feel like Jupiter in Leo is like the most self-expression, the most like, I'm a thespian mother. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's like the most expressive and creative. And I feel like that's a very, very big like boon to me as my chart ruler.
And I'd say authenticity. I also think with Leo, like sometimes Leos get the rap of just being like me. But it's like, it is at a deeper level too. It's like, I am going to be so generous with myself. I am going to share myself with all of you people. I have talents. I have gifts. I'm not going to hold them back. And I think
Leo is Jupiter and Leo is like the star to me. Mm-hmm. Like there is this like rise to fame. There is this like star power, star quality to it. Performative, I feel like, but like from a joyful place. Like
yeah.
I don't think it's playful, inauthentic. It's not like performative. It's authentic performance. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And?
No, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I do think that. Yeah, because I know it maybe sounded sarcastic. I'm so sorry, Leos. But I mean that really, like Leo is about your creativity and your will. It is your gifts. And I think both the sun, which rules Leo, and Jupiter are both associated with things like generosity.
Yes.
And Jupiter's like, yes, queen. And the sun is just like, oh, wait, hold up. Let me get that spotlight on you. Right. The sun is like, oh, I got you. Oh, you look gorgeous. You know what I mean? And Jupiter's like, yes, with the pom-poms. So I think when you put those two together, I mean, I hear what you mean. It's performative. It's not shielding, it's not holding back.
Yes.
If you watched our last episode, we talked about things happening in the 12th house and things that like maybe we don't like to show off and things like this. Jupiter and the sun getting together are like, we're not holding back.
Yeah, we're gonna peacock all the way. Like full steam ahead, turn it all the way up. I feel like it's like, I feel like it's very loud. So my last Jupiter return, it would have happened, I want to say like 2014, 15 or 15, 16, somewhere in there. Like, it wasn't 2 years, obviously, but I can't remember the exact dates, but Jupiter was in Leo. And I got my 100K play button on YouTube for my gaming channel. I was made Twitch partner. Like, there was a lot of recognition that came through to me at that time. And it was definitely weird, though, because I didn't feel like when I was building this thing that I was building this with a purpose or any kind of intention. I was just like, I want to play games and I'm unemployed. And so, like, I just kept doing it and I was just having fun. And it just, like, I don't know, I feel like it was a very honest and authentic, like, I'm just here to have fun and, like, look what happened. So I think that was probably like the biggest part of it. Even though I have that in my ninth house, I don't recall doing a lot of travel, but like it's still an expansion of like myself, my identity.
Right. Like lots of learning.
Lots of learning. I did pick up a shitload of new skills. Like, I already kind of knew my way around a camera, but this was very different because it was like screen recording and then learning all the streaming software and learning how to edit different ways. Like, I definitely picked up a lot of new skills at that time.
Mm-hmm. And even though your sun placement isn't there, so it's not Jupiter to your sun, but being in the sign of the sun, really putting yourself out there, like you were talking about before, like that creativity or that, just like expressing yourself, yes, whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm. And it really, like, all those videos are taken down. You can't see them anymore. Sorry about it. Not sorry. It's been too many years. Nobody needs to see that. It really was, like, when I look back on that stuff, because I have it all just privated, I can look at it. It just, like, I know, like, cringe is the gateway to, like, self-expression, but, like, I'm like, why did anybody watch this? Like, the internet was a different beast at that time.
It was the 2010s. That's all the explanation you need.
Yeah. It just, I'm definitely in a different place now.
Yeah. Can I just like sidebar for a minute because I'm being distracted? We didn't actually talk about this. What the heck do you have?
Oh, it is, my good fine friends, it is a Summer Fridays mint lip gloss. It's one of my favorites. Actually, it's a lip butter balm. This one and the iced coffee one are the best ones, if you would like to get one.
Not paid.
I wish. Oh my gosh, a Summer Friday sponsor. Oh, give me that sweet, sweet sponsor money, please.
Yeah, because usually I know what's going on there, and I was like, wait, what are you holding here?
Lip gloss. This, I think, is probably my best self-expression microphone. Like, this is something that I would always carry around. I'm always telling people about it because I love it so much.
So you're just like, I'm literally
doing it.
Yeah. The message, the medium is the message. The message is the medium, whatever that whole thing is. Absolutely. So, what are you hoping? What guidance would you give? I know I've obviously lived through Jupiter and Leo before. Probably at least like one more time than you. No, not one more time than you have. The same number of times as you have.
What would I say? I mean, obviously I'm going to tell you just to be yourself. That sounds so dumb. Like, be yourself, and also, like, don't be afraid to show off. If you've got, like, a cool skill or something you're getting into, or, like, highlight that shit. Share your art. Oh my God. Now more than ever. Mm-hmm. We need that shit.
That creativity.
We need that creativity, the art, the authenticity of it. I feel like people are also really, like, in the world of AI, like, we don't need to go all into that, but in the realm of AI, I feel like people are craving authenticity. We don't want to see this. We want to see humans doing human shit.
Ooh. Especially since I'm just going to call this out because early in the degrees of Jupiter, because I was like, okay, well, what is ruling AI? Where are we talking about AI so much? Well, Uranus and Gemini. Yes. Also, the Pluto and Aquarius is bringing up a lot of, we're like, these are some of the astrological omens of something like this. And this Jupiter is going to be in opposition in Leo in the early degrees. I think it's going to oppose it around 4 degrees, something like that. And actually, that's something to be looking for mid-July this year. it's a full quest, so I'm not going to go into it right now, but there is some really interesting astrology involving the slower moving planets, because we've got Pluto, Neptune, Uranus all kind of stacked up, and Jupiter is going to fill that out and create a basket in the early degrees of Leo. Yeah, we're going to have to come back to this because there's like a basket. Venus is going to be the only planet other than the moon zipping around that's going to be outside of the basket. So like the women are leading the way. And like there's a lot of stuff. Chiron's going to be in like the very bottom of it. It's like a big deal. So
totally snap. I haven't looked ahead.
Totally
so
sidebar.
I have no idea. That's
but
crazy.
About the 19th, I think, of July, this is going to really pick up. So that's aside from Jupiter and Leo in general sense. But since you brought up AI, I was like, well, I would be silly to not bring up the fact that when you have this basket formation, we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, so you can see what we're talking about. Because
when you have maybe this somebody's like,
what the hell, baskets in astrology now? We're picnicking?
There's this, I mean, sure.
Yes, I am the table.
She's lying. We actually planned to talk about this the whole time.
I actually did not, surprisingly. Oh my god.
That's awesome. So yeah, but basically it creates, like a difference between what is inside that container and what is outside. And there is a real tension. Whatever that opposition is basically sets the tone. Oh. So this like big go and like express, and it's like about creativity and about expression being in that polar opposite for that transit to this like transformative Aquarian kind of energy. Like those are the themes of whatever everything else that's happening in there. So anyhow, just sidebar, but it is totally relevant to talk about that tension about where we are with AI, LLMs, all that stuff.
I just feel like Jupiter coming in here would be like, it'll be good for the authentic person expressing instead. And I also, interesting that you bring up the AI, like going more into it, because we were just talking about in Cancer, all of the world news issues with water. And I didn't say it, but I was thinking it, the data centers, the water and the data centers.
Yeah.
And so like, I wonder with Jupiter moving, if that will change anything.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to, yes. Well, I think the other thing is, especially for the transit, for the time that it's there, it's joining all of the slower moving planets in air and fire. So these are very active, right? We've got Pluto in air. We have Neptune and Saturn are still in fire. We've got Uranus in air, and then we're going to have Jupiter in fire. So it's like very active, like searching, changing, connecting. It's just a very like, it's a little aggressive. Like you're being a little aggressive.
I mean, I feel like anytime you get air and fire, especially in like a large quantity, it's going to be aggressive.
Yeah.
Because if you think about them elementally, like when air comes into that fire, it's just going to make the fire bigger. We're just like, we're going to spread it out. It's not like if it was water and fire, water would be trying to put that fire out,
Right, like, right. So you're thinking about like the bellows, like the whatever. Yeah. So I mean, if I was just going to kind of go out there and say, okay, well now we've got Jupiter saying more fire. Yes, what does that look like, right? So I mean, I don't know, forest fires, volcanoes. Like if you just wanted to think, if you were just going to like start making random predictions just based on Jupiter's there. Jupiter said more fire. That would be a blanket kind of prediction without even looking at anything else in the chart that you might.
That makes sense.
Be seeing either happen more or at least be the things that are coming to the public consciousness a lot, right? Like it's showing
especially up. Following like maybe even the holding back of water. Of course, that's going to lead us to drought and fire. Like girl, the pieces, the brain pieces are being put together. I've never thought about it that way.
It's all cycles, right?
It is.
All right. So we'll have to check back next year, see how we did on that. But yeah. But yeah, I think the other thing I would say with Leo, so as much as I'm here to say like on an individual basis, like get out there, creativity, there is also something about Jupiter and like royalty and Leo and like the figurehead and something about like king emperor vibes and like this emphasis on, and maybe this is also coming up for me because we have that because it's coming through that Leo space where a lot of the leadership in the world was born under Pluto in Leo.
That's so true.
Right? And so they're usually like later degrees because that was pretty early, but just maybe it's just all coming up for me because of that opposition with the Pluto and Aquarius, where it's like the transformation is dispersed. It is democratic. It is about like what could be, what could structures look like. And so I mean, this kind of thing of, we're saying like it's not ego, it's not, or like not in a bad way, putting yourself out there. But also, if you're talking about like a figurehead or about megalomaniacal kind of behavior, that would also be like Jupiter, Leo, Jupiter, Sun stuff, right? So I know we've already been seeing that in the world, but it would be interesting to see if any of that kind of comes to some more peaks.
I mean, shit.
Could it
like? I don't want to say could it get worse because I think that's famous.
Do we need more gold things?
Like, I was literally thinking the same thing. Get out of my head.
Is there more gold possibly?
I feel like we're out. Thinking the same thing.
We have to go to Fort Knox and make sure the gold is still there. Like we have to.
Well, and also something I wanted to bring up about this is we have Saturn in Aries trine.
Yeah.
It's going to trine Jupiter, which trine in astrology, it's usually very supportive, right? Isn't that usually a good thing?
They're helping each other in their own way.
Okay.
Is how I've been seeing this. So this is kind of like, and this is why, picture on screen, the basket is basically just a series of sextiles or trines. And these are supportive. So a trine is actually, funnily enough, it is the aspect that's 4 signs, 120 degrees away from each other that is associated with Jupiter because it is supportive like Jupiter would be. It's yes, queen.
Yes, queen.
So Jupiter is concerned with, bigger, more yes. It's, just do it. It's this kind of energy in this very fiery place. And you have Saturn, and Jupiter is not in any particular dignity. It's not a good place. It's not a bad place to be in Leo. Saturn is in Aries, and yes. Saturn, I mean, we haven't talked about it, I don't think, here, but it's being talked about a lot because Saturn has been in Aries for a minute. It's going to be in Aries for another minute here. And we have the big conjunction in the early degrees of Aries with Neptune. So Saturn is all about structure, organization, discipline, achieving practical matters, like actually being able to build structures. And so having good foundations, having blueprints, having like getting the engineering done. So trying to build things, but in a very Aries way where Mars has just got the foot on the gas pedal,
more gas,
saying go, 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 go. And Saturn's like,
maybe not. Maybe we don't do that.
And it really makes me think about, was it Facebook? So now Meta, their early thing was like move fast and break things.
Yes.
And that's what I always think about. And I think when we had that first, in the lead up to the first Saturn ingress into Aries this cycle, that was, without getting too political here, but like when all the Doge stuff was happening last year was like in the preamble to that energy. And, a lot of this like, oh, if we accidentally cut something that we didn't mean to cut, we'll put it back later. Like that was the communication. Yikes. Now, you can have whatever take. I mean, I thought that was just them saying stuff to get people off their back. Other people maybe thought they were genuinely trying to do something helpful. Either way, that was the communication was, oh yeah, we know we might break things. And it is this very like tech bro kind of Silicon Valley kind of vibe, venture capital into the tech space. Like, yeah, well, we're going to mess up. We're building the airplane in the air. It's this kind of thing. But like, oh, we'll just fix it in post. Like, don't worry about it. And so Saturn and Jupiter are like, how do we support each other with this? So if Jupiter is saying, more that, right? And Saturn is saying, hey, let me give you some constructive criticism. Let me give you some, let me help you shape. Oh, okay, you're going to put your image out there. You're going to act on your impulses, your creativity, your ego, your self-expression. It's like, yeah. And like, maybe, think about this. Be thoughtful about this. And so I think they're trying to be supportive, but they're still going to do it in the way they do it. And they're
for sure
not necessarily going to be in the best places to be acting from. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. We'll see how it goes.
As I've been saying from the beginning, I feel like I don't like the transit for the collective. I like it for the individual.
I feel like that's been a lot of this going on. And I think I love polarities. So I love like, yeah. So like the world astrology, the like what's happening to empires and like, businesses and politicians. And you're like,
ooh, it looks real gross out there in them stars for that.
At least from where I'm sitting, right? It might be good for them. Same. I don't know. But like if we're going to harness this for ourselves, I think we're both kind of saying yes. And I think that's actually part of what's being questioned with Pluto into Aquarius is this idea of like transformation and this idea of power. What does power look like? And so if you can't have like an Aquarian community of like vibrancy and weirdos and like all this like diversity and all the things that are very Aquarian and without having individuals make that up.
For sure.
And you can't have like a figurehead if people don't support it. Like there's always like the yin yang kind of like some of it has to contain the other. So even if we are about the collective is better if we show up wholly as ourselves, as individuals, not so that we can be the center of attention or that we can take it over, but so that the collective can. I feel like having like Star Trek, The Next Generation, my age is showing here and my nerdiness, but like they talk about the Borg as like the collective. I don't know if you know this reference, but in Sidequest. So in the early 1990s, there was a show called the Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Oh, I know of the show, but I didn't really watch it, no.
The captain on the show, he gets kidnapped by this part human, part robot race. In fact, this is the kind of sci-fi where you're like, when it shows up in real life and you're like, oh my God, they predicted it. And you're like, no, the tech bros were nerds and they watched the show and they said, we should do that thing the show was warning us about. And I feel like that's what's happening. Like there are people who were all like built into a hive brain through technology and they take him, they plug him into the hive brain and they all have like, you know, robot arms and robot eyeballs and all this kind of stuff. And so like, part of his path and like questioning his humanity is like he goes in there and they don't think they can unplug him from the hive brain, but they do. Spoilers, but like
spoilers from 1990. Like you should have watched it if you were gonna.
I mean, I was saying that jokingly. I was like, sorry about that. It was last century, but yeah. So they get him out, but he's like haunted by this experience of like having all these brains in his head, and so they think that they are the next level. Like they are superior to people because they are a collective. So anytime I hear the word collective, I do not mean it like that. And that's also the question of what's happening with Pluto and Aquarius is like, and it's actually, I didn't realize I was going here, but I'm actually making my point, which is the importance of having individuality in the collective. The collective is stronger. The collective is more human when we have individuals and it's not homogenous. So didn't even realize I was trying to make my point, but I made my point. And so I think, yeah, this Jupiter in here is really blowing that up. And so on an individual basis, that might be really good for like for someone's career or for their fame or something like that. But I think like the bigger narrative, the bigger human story is it's balancing out this concept of power of the collective and saying the collective is of individuals, not, you know, cattle being pushed around. Yeah.
I feel like my horoscopium take is not nearly as awesome as that one, but I'm over here just being selfish and like, what is this going to do for me? This is what I think. And I'll report back at some point as I'm like, well, Jupiter return in Leo in my 9th house, which is like the teacher, right? The mentor, the teacher. I feel like I often get put in teaching roles, whether I want to be or not. Anyhow, yeah, and so whenever it's it just always happens. I always end up in a mentorship teaching type thing. And I do feel like I use a lot of my platforms that way. And I feel like Saturn, if I'm going to like get my ducks in any kind of row, I actually think Saturn in my 5th house will be good for that. Be like having a little bit of creative accountability and being like, okay, like maybe getting a posting schedule correct or trying to, it might be hard. It might be pushing against something, but I feel like it could potentially benefit me and like setting me apart a little bit more in how I appear in my like online space.
Yeah.
With like the stuff that I create. I don't know. That's my hope. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah,
like,
you might watch her move fast and break things, but she's figuring it out. I mean, I think that is the thing. Like, so Saturn, we think about that sometimes as negative, like it's limitations, and it's like, I'm trying to help you.
I actually think Saturn through the 5th is not so bad compared to like other. I'd rather have it in my 5th house than my 4th house.
I've had some really formative, like the last time Saturn was in Aries, which is my 5th house. I had some very formative experiences then, so it'll be interesting to see what happens this time around. It's not my Saturn return, but
it's not my Saturn return
but
either,
it's a return to what was happening there. I'm like, I'm not that old, guys. It's not my second Saturn return.
Well, and also the 5th house is children, and like me and my spouse do want those, so I'm like, I don't know, maybe we're gonna get really serious about that. Like,
yeah, and the 5th house is, assigned to Leo. So, I mean, it is like...
Right? So it's like a little complimentary for me because of Sag rising. It's a little complimentary. So, I don't know. I think I just have a lot of high hopes. I just have a lot of high hopes.
And Jupiter's just going to keep putting them higher. And
Jupiter's like, higher, yes, and higher, and higher. Girl boss, go, girl boss, go.
And I think that's fine if that's and from a personal standpoint, like we're not trying to take on the world.
Certainly
so I actually
not.
think like what you're saying is probably much more practical, like for application on an individual basis. And I also think like if you want to feel like as you're pursuing your selfish dreams and your selfish pursuits, I'm giving you the permission to say that's what humanity needs.
Right?
Humanity needs you to show up as yourself.
And I think Aries also like is the rebel. Like, so it's like speaking more to individuation, like being benefic with Leo. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But anyways, I feel like we talked a lot about Jupiter and Leo and we wanted to talk about like all the signs.
Well, but this is the big thing that's happening.
That's
so maybe
true. That's true.
Last time we did kind of a speed run on some questions about the 12th house. Maybe we'll do speed run on Jupiter and the other signs.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably going to end up talking about mine's the next one.
Yeah, we have to spend some time.
So in 2027, it'll be my turn.
I will pass the baton right over.
Yeah. Jupiter in Virgo. So this is actually fun because we're talking about, we have Cancer where it's exalted. We have Leo where it's like, fine. Right. And then we have Virgo where it is in detriment. So detriment is the furthest house from where it is at home or in domicile. So when we talked about rulership and domicile, Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, but also Pisces. So Virgo's opposite Pisces. It's in detriment. It's in Jupiter jail. It's not doing well.
Jupiter jail. Oh no.
Basically, if you think about Virgo being a Mercury ruled sign, and I have trouble with this because Mercury and Jupiter, fun fact, Mercury and Jupiter in traditional astrology, the two of them rule all of the mutable signs.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you guys
never
are
really put that
you
together.
silly billies. All of it. We talk about how much we love the Sag-Gemini thing. But like Mercury and Jupiter, but Mercury is like concerned with things that are like local and like building bridges in between individuals. It can be about communication, which can be long distance, but also can be one-on-one. It's very curious. It's not precious about things. Mercury is like, what about this? Okay, what about this? And that shows up for like Gemini in a very airy way, where it is like very literally like, what about this? What about this? And in Virgo, it's like, what about this? Drill down, right? like let me take it apart and get into it.
My moon sign being like crying about one thing, and then 2 seconds later, I'm over it, and I'm just like, oh, now I'm in, like this thing now, this problem now.
Yeah. Whereas the moon, the Virgo moons that I know, they're like, I'm gonna go and have a thought about the notion of feelings, right? Like it's like there is this separation. Like there's a lot of thoughts about feelings, but it's like it's very investigatory.
I have to talk about the feelings.
Yeah.
That's how it works for me.
Yeah.
Which I think is very Gemini coded.
So I think like Mercury is very curious and does that in different ways depending on where it is. Jupiter's just like, yes, like not worried about the details, not worrying about like, you know, like I just think about like Mercury. Maybe this is because I'm a year of the monkey too, where I'm like taking the little pieces, like I'm just feel like I'm a little monkey. Like, what does this do? So when you have Jupiter in a Mercury sign and it's Earth, so it's like bound. And it's not a fixed sign, it's mutable, but it's like stuck there, right? Because it's Earth, so it has to be very practical. And the way I think about it, the way I feel like I experienced it, that is, it's like, okay, we're going to do the curious Mercury thing, but we're going to get all the things. We're going to get all of the information. We're going to get all the details.
But this is why we get your fabulous lecture self, and I love it. You'll be like, Sidequest a lecture.
And so it's like, yes, this is my version of educating. And so I think Jupiter is, it's definitely like, it kind of have its feet nailed to the floor a little bit in Virgo, and it's just so interested in like the practical things, and like, hey, if we're gonna do minutia, we're gonna do minutia. We're gonna get into the uber details, and Jupiter's not super good at that.
I would not think so.
No, not super good at that, but he's trying, she's trying, they're trying. And so I feel like in my chart, having that. Also, it is, therefore, it's not by degree, but by sign, it is square my ascendant.
Oh, okay.
And so I think there's some challenge with all of my Virgo placements, which if you have Virgo placements in your Sag rising, you're going to have some version of this, but I have more than one. And like, it's a little bit, I think this is part of why yes and is my thing. Like the Jupiter is like yes, and the Virgo is like and. But I feel like there is this balancing act, not quite a seesaw, but like a balancing act between the Jupiter and the Mercury, but the Jupiter has to answer to Mercury in my chart.
Yes.
So probably also is why I'd rather have like a yes and, because it leaves the questions open-ended. You know, I'm like, I don't know, it can all be true. Like, let's, you know.
Let's play with it.
There is a right answer, but right now. So it's a more challenging placement. I think when we were talking about Jupiter returns, and the last time I had one, and this is one of those like house placements. So if it was ninth house, which it is in some house systems, you know, travel actually did happen for me during mine. I also made like I basically blew up my career. I blew up my work life the year. So like 10th house stuff. And I think usually you would think, okay, Jupiter going through the 10th house, you're like, you're going to get promotions. You're going to like, no, I quit my job I'd had for 10 years. I went and did like all these like gigs. I traveled. I like did weird stuff. I did very Jupiter things, but not the way that I would have thought. And this is one of those, like, you read all the astrology books, you listen to people, and then you start collecting stories and experiences, and you say, okay, that makes sense. And oftentimes you start noticing those things to come up again and again, but they're not necessarily like textbook. So, yeah. So those are examples of Jupiter in a good place, Jupiter in an okay place, Jupiter in a not great place.
This is the bad place.
Oh, this is the bad place.
But also, I feel like it's Jupiter, and you can't really go wrong.
Jupiter's just like more, whatever it is, just do more of that. And so, but I don't think it comes across in my expression as being this just like playful thing. Like maybe like Jupiter and Leo.
I was like, maybe I just can't relate, because it's like literally in Leo, where like that's the ruler of the house of children, like, and childlike joy and creativity. I'm just a fun little baby. I don't know.
I have to put them in a better place, because I feel like I was like choking out the stuffed animal.
Not bull pigs.
I was like, ooh, I'm so upset about my Jupiter and Virgo.
No.
Let's just see. Speed run. Jupiter in Libra. This is, the ruler is Venus. So it's Jupiter and Venus hanging out together in air. And there's no particular dignity for this.
I feel like I kind of like it. Mm-hmm. I like it. On vibes alone, I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like Jupiter would have fun there.
I feel like now it's the hot air balloon, but now it's like the little like anniversary package or like the couples package where you have like the little champagne.
I was definitely getting love notes for sure.
Let's see, Jupiter in Scorpio. So that is Mars. That is water.
I like that. I mean, anytime there's Scorpio or Mars involved, I always think intensity. There's an intenseness to it. So more intensity.
more intensity. More secrecy.
More kinks.
The person who has to like come into the room like dressed like uber all in black, like the person who's like shows up like don't ask me about it, but everything about them is like, you stand out, we have to ask you about it. You don't want to ask me about it, you can't handle it. Jupiter in Sagittarius, it is in domicile.
It's having a good time. It's having a party. It's having a ball.
It's doing all the things.
Yeah.
It's asking all the questions. It's meeting all the people. And if you are Sag rising, that also means it is in your first house. So I would say probably if it is in your first house, those things we were talking about with like personality, just expansiveness or growth or like big personality, big features.
I always think about
I feel like more
Sag as like life of the party. Like, yeah, like not like you. Not
would
like
you say
Sag
that if you weren't a
is...
Sag rising?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I just was like, are we just
maybe I'm just Jupiter
Leo
maxing? Like, I don't know. I always feel like it's life of the party. I kind of somewhat give it to Gemini too, though. Like, I feel like you don't have a party unless the Sag and Geminis are there. Like, we just do.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just doing all the things, seeing all the people, cracking all the jokes.
Yep.
All the stuff. Jupiter in Capricorn, and I know you love some Capricorn.
I do. Tasty.
Jupiter is in fall.
I was going to say, I don't think this would be a good time.
Because it's the opposite of Cancer. So, exaltation, remember that's like your best friend's house or, you know, the place that you're like the honored guest. And so this is pretty much like if you were just like, you're in a foreign land and your cell phone just died and you were just wandering the streets. You do not speak the language. You were relying on Google Translate.
Hamburger fucking help me. Like that's what that's giving.
You know, you're not in Jupiter jail, but you're just like lost. Like you're a little lost. And
well, that makes sense too, even on the vibes, because Capricorn we always give the planner to. And like Jupiter's not trying to plan. They came to travel and do fun things, but they're just trying to feel it out. Like you're binding it up there, being like, no, we have to have a plan, but no, you don't. Like simmer.
Yes, and definitely like that's like Saturn rulership of kind of like trying to contain it.
Yeah.
And if you think about the traditional planets, right? The Saturn is the furthest one you can comfortably see with your eyeballs. It's the one that's why we didn't know about the modern planets before, because people were doing this with their eyeballs. And so Saturn was like the limit or the extremes of everything, and literally the only thing that could contain Jupiter, because everything else you get out to Jupiter's like more until Saturn, and that's literally the only thing that can contain it.
That's funny.
So again, sometimes it can be good, and I think both Jupiter and Saturn can be teachers, just in different ways. There's like the fun teacher.
And then there's the put your head down and get it done teacher.
Right. Jupiter's like the one who comes in with like the wacky socks and is like,
I made you a
jumping
star
up on,
chart.
I'm up on the table and I'm like doing, you know, like I'm going to make it interesting. I had a TA in a geology class who would like bring cookies in with like different stuff in it to show us how different kinds of rocks were made. And then he'd build things out of Legos and he'd throw them on the ground and they'd break so he could show us how like cleavage worked in rock formations. And he was cool. And like, that was a very Jupiter kind of like,
for sure,
like, let's inspire you. Let's like just go big. And Capricorn is like, did you learn your lesson, young lady? You know what I mean? We need both kinds of teachers. So the other expression of Saturn is Aquarius. So Jupiter in Aquarius.
I always give eccentricity to Aquarius.
Yeah.
So I feel like more eccentricity, but I don't feel like that's not good enough. What is your take on that?
Oof. Aquarius is when it's really hard for me to get my arms around. Like it really is.
And I feel similarly about Pisces, actually. Both of them, for some reason.
I feel like a lot of times, I guess we can just twofer here. Aquarius and Pisces are always like the weird girl. Like
we don't hate you.
No, we
We're
love,
just,
I'm a weird girl, like hopefully, but like it's a lot of times like the woo woo and the like these kinds of things. But the way I try to separate it out is one is like watery and it's like emotion led. And I really think Aquarius has this sense of like, it's still about order, but it's like an idealistic order. So like if Saturn is in charge of boundaries, it's like Capricorn is like, if you were like, what is the most amazing city? What is the most amazing business? What is the most amazing house I could build? Capricorn is like, let's actualize that thing. And Aquarius is like, what about the thing that isn't possible? What if we built that? What would that look like? And so I think that gets into that kind of like weird girl, woo woo, stuff, eccentricity, because
it's big ideas.
It's big ideas. And yes,
Jupiter says more. Yeah, it's the mind.
Yeah. And so, Jupiter doesn't have any particular take on being in Aquarius from a dignity standpoint. I mean, it's playing with air again. Yeah, but I think it is. It's like more eccentricity. I feel like I need to put on like 5 more interesting necklaces. like the whole kind of like stop and take like one thing off. Jupiter's like, girl, you look good.
All of it. All the jewelry in your jewelry box, actually.
Like, if you're that person who's like, I want to line up every religion in the world and find the truth in all of them and make like a super pantheon religion. Like, I think Jupiter and Aquarius would fuck with that. Like, be like,
I could really see that.
You know what I mean? Like, we're going to find the truth in the universe. Where you told me the end of the universe is, I don't believe. Like, we're going to go beyond that and build a new world order. Jupiter back in Pisces, of course, is back in domicile. So it is at home, but it is much more into the like, let's get rid of any like boundaries. Like the Aquarius was questioning the boundaries. Pisces is like, get them out of here.
We don't know boundary. We don't know her.
We don't know her.
She doesn't even go here.
There was a very beautiful boundary that you designed in Virgo and built in Capricorn, but we're about to go into Aries, so you got to get that out of here. Like, we're ready for something else.
I feel like it is more spirituality. It's more like, I would even hesitate to say maybe purpose understanding, like wanting to know yourself even more deeper, spiritual, like expanding on that.
Yes. Going bigger in.
Going bigger. Yes. Going bigger in. And especially because it's water too. Like, I don't know. I always think about the depth no matter what.
Yeah.
If there's water involved.
I'm just getting those like, like the Alka-Seltzer tabs or like any of the things that you drop, like the vitamin C things you put in there and just like dissolves and.
Yes.
Okay. So that's Pisces. And then that brings us back around to Jupiter and Aries, which is back with Mars. No particular dignity involved there, but it's fire and it's Mars.
I feel like it would just be gas. Like, your foot is in the car on the floor. Just like go as fast as you can. Do like just what is it, head
the
first.
German, the Autobahn? Is that what like it is? The road where they just like where like, they just go a million miles.
Just go as fast as you possibly can, head first into anything and everything or whatever it is that you're.
Yep. Like it's almost doesn't even have time to say like good idea. It's just like, I'm doing it.
Yeah. You're just in it.
All right. And then in contrast to that, Jupiter in Taurus with Venus and Earth.
Jupiter in Taurus. What do I think of that?
I think you're getting like the additional 30 minutes on the massage package. I think you're getting like
it's indulgent for sure. It's indulgent. I feel like I would say luxury, like luxurious. Look, because I am a Taurus sun, and like you can always get me with the luxurious shit, like the
and I think that means
the
like
lotion.
Yeah, like I think it can be in a like I think it's like luxurious, but like not like necessarily in like a brandy way.
No,
like,
it doesn't have to be like designer or anything.
Right, but it's like this very like sensory.
Through the senses.
Yes, it's
What's
sensuous.
the best taste, the best touch, the best smell? Like how can I invoke the senses?
Did you watch Parks and Rec, that show at all?
I didn't.
That's right. There's a few shows that we're like, we've both watched and some we haven't. So there is something that I was thinking about pulling out again for the Venus-Jupiter conjunction in Cancer, which was Donna and Tom, where they have it's Treat Yourself Day, right?
I love
if you know Treat Yourself, right? So anytime you get Venus and Jupiter together, like, it's making me think about, there is an episode where one of the other characters is dating Tom, and she's showing her friend his apartment without him there. And she's like, he has like all these cozy, fluffy blankets. And he has like all this stuff in his just like amenities everywhere is how they put it. He's got like the coconut water shelf in his fridge. And they're like, he's a single straight guy and this is how he lives. And she's like, oh, he's deeply in debt, but I don't care because he has like all these things. Every time I come over here, it's just like,
I mean, shit. I'm honestly surprised that I don't have a Jupiter in Taurus with the way that I'm out here wild and like, oh, I can't pay my rent, but rest assured my fridge is stocked with food. I will always be eating, okay?
Yeah, see, and I definitely do not have like Venus-Jupiter placements that support that. So this is why I have to tell you about it through sitcoms, because I do not relate.
Like, I am not the one that's like, oh, I need to pay my rent. That means I got to eat ramen for 2 months. No. I'm like, nope, they're just going to get paid late. Like, I will be eating. I said what I said.
Yeah, so definitely...
Indulgence,
yes. I don't think it has to be excessive, and it doesn't have to be like performative or anything like that, but I think it's just like sensuous and sensory. Yeah, I just like want to put like a sleep mask on and like and then
you seen that gif of Marie Antoinette, Kirsten Dunst as Marie Antoinette in her bed, just like,
oh,
I'll insert. It's giving.
I'm gonna have to get the Parks and Rec insert for you. So I'm gonna make you watch it so you know all my references. Yes, and then finally we have Jupiter in Gemini, where it is also in detriment because it's across from Sagittarius.
Yes.
And it's with Mercury again. So kind of similar ideas to the Virgo, except instead of trying to like, I feel like sometimes Virgo in general, but especially like Jupiter and Virgo, like really active, supportive planets of Virgo are like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. It's like, no, we can optimize. We're going to need these tomorrow. We're going to be very optimistic about it. And so I think it's a little different in Gemini, but it's more like ideas. Like, it's like, oh, that's a fun idea. Oh, that's a fun idea. Like, let's just like this, or, and then obviously like the humor and just having a good time and being jovial.
For sure.
But I think Jupiter is trying to do the most in...
They're the only one laughing at their jokes. Oh, no. I love Gemini. I would never talk shit.
Yeah, but basically just anytime you have Jupiter and Mercury, there is this like trying to do the most in the most limited, specific, curious, analytical, unserious way. I don't know.
I mean, I don't even look at Jupiter as being serious.
That's what I'm saying.
So, it's hard for me to even... But I think it's just because I love Gemini. I can't,
Yeah, stamp of approval.
I can't imagine it's, being in detriment. I'm like, but I understand why it is. But I'm just like, no.
Yeah, I know. You're like, I love Virgos. I love Gemini. Sorry.
No, sorry.
I love your suffering with your Jupiter in a Mercury-ruled sign.
Hey, me with my Virgo midheaven is a little jealous. I think having Jupiter with my midheaven would be pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my closest planet to my midheaven is Saturn, so...
I mean, I think that could be hot, too. In a very different way, but, I don't know.
She said, you better work.
Said, you cannot compromise on your excellence, my queen.
Oh, I do love the struggle. I do things on hard mode all the time. So,
was there anything else you wanted to talk about on Jupiter? Are we going to rapid fire?
I mean, we kind of rapid fired the other ones, but let's see. What do we got here? Ooh, okay, this is a good one. We'll just talk about this one. The final question.
Okay.
Because I think we covered most of the rest of these. Can Jupiter be too much of a good thing?
I think so.
Yeah. So let's talk about That would be my, like, just really quick, like, off the cuff.
I feel like a hot pocket for that would be like Jupiter crossing your rising and you gain weight.
I mean, that's like my go-to, and maybe it's just we've spent too much time together, but
I definitely got it from her. Stole that right out of her mind.
But yeah, basically, yeah, Jupiter coming in just says like more of you. Oh, I love it.
Literally more of you.
You are a classic beauty. We need more of that. So
100.
Absolutely.
Or even like Jupiter in the 8th, more debt, more taxes, more gambling. Like,
yeah, I mean, and I mean, there's also ones where like you see like when Jupiter is conjunct Mars or has like certain Mars relationships and you're like more war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jupiter is just like indiscriminately supportive. Like just out here. Go team. And it's really like it's like sports ball. Like it's like it does not care. It does not care what team.
Yay, win the points. Do the things. Yay. The thing with the ball. Do that.
Do that. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure there's more to say about Jupiter, but
Always.
We've said so much. What is there more to say? I don't know.
I think we will leave y'all with this. So if you'd like to follow us, of course, we have all of our links down below. Instagram, we're still unsure about the Patreon, but if it's down there, go check it out. It will be worth your while. I am available at KloeTaylor.com, at Kloee Taylor. All my links are down below.
And I am at Yes and Astrology. You can definitely find me on Instagram.
All right. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. Happy full moon.
Bye.